turn this off and then change every setting to whatever you'd like it to be. But especially if you're just starting out and don't want to get too overwhelmed with all these different settings, I think there's millions of combinations you can have here. Then you can just press enable on a number of different asset classes. But as I said, we'll just stick to the crypto quick start. So for this example, we'll just be automating core trend, which is our main automation indicator within the Trendmaster bundle. I've got them all loaded up here. So I will go through some other ways you can automate some of the other indicators we have. But as I said, for now, we'll just stick with this. So our recommended platform for automating your trades is Wonder Trading. I believe there is a free tier, which I've just got here, just on this $100 account. But with a pro or a premium or something, it's called, you get a few more features and stuff. But as I said, I think this is just the free one.
I actually
Basic
have
plan,
the. I
yeah.
upgraded it earlier, so it does have the ability to take what is it? Take profits and stuff like that.
Ah, nice. Well, there
Yeah.
you go. So maybe we'll see a few cool features. So the first thing you want to do once you've signed up on Wonder Trading, as I said, to begin with, it's probably just easiest to get the free account. But if we have a premium one here, you can maybe see the differences between subscriptions and see if it's worth upgrading. But you'll just go to My Exchanges, and then here you can just add. We can see here we've got BitGet. I just got BitGet here. To get an API key to set this up, you just go up to this little user icon, press API, create API, and then just click trade, name it. It's pretty simple. Just add all the things in there. You have to verify and everything. But once you do that, you'll get two keys. One's a API key and one's called a secret. So you'll just paste those both in, and then once you've done that, you'll see correctly it'll say active, and that's how you know you've got your Wonder Trading API all connected to the exchange. This, as I said, this is just BitGet, but it works on pretty much any exchange, Bybit, Binance, or whatever. So after that, if you just go back to the dashboard, what we can do is actually create our first bot. So just up here, create a bot. I'm just going to call it BitGet BTC 4 hour because that's just what we're going to set up to begin with. And the bot description, as it sounds, it's good to me. API, we're just going to select the Wonder Trade one here and exchange, as we said, just the BitGet one here. What I'm going to do, go back to core here, as I said, the 4 hour BitGet. So again, we just change this to the hourly and then the 4 hourly. This will work on any time frame, practically any ticker. So have a play around, but definitely if you're just getting involved with automation and botting for the first time, I definitely recommend something that isn't too high frequency, something like the 4 hour where you're going to get a number of signals every week. It's definitely easy to keep on top of things. As soon as you get trades just firing off every few minutes, it can get pretty overwhelming, especially if you're running on multiple different tickers. So as I said, definitely just keep things simple and kind of work up until you're comfortable. So we'll just start on the 4 hour to begin with. We have to select the pair as BTC USD. The signal source is TradingView. Order type's just market. Position sizing is something that has a little bit of personal interpretation on. I would say, again, definitely if you're starting out, start with a small position size, maybe 5%, maybe 10% or so. Within the automation of this indicator, there is risk management built into place. You can see here by the trade window here that there are stop losses that will trigger as soon as it hits, and then we have some take profits which won't automatically take price, but I'll get onto that in a second. So I would say, again, start with a small amount of capital. So if we're on a $100 account here, 10% is just going to put $10 into the trade, 25% would be $25, etc. So you just need to work that out for yourself. Same with leverage. I would definitely say to begin with, stick to 1x or 2x leverage. You don't want to be one of these people who are just 100 timesing their account immediately and you're going to get liquidated straight away. It's a bad idea. I would definitely say the lower leverage you can use, especially as a beginner, the better. So we're just going to keep it very simple. And the take profits here that Chris was referring to, I think this is part of a basic plan. I think if you have the free one, you maybe only get one take profit or maybe even no take profits, but I think you will get a stop loss. You can add these in here. As I said, the management is done automatically with the alerts from TradingView, so these alerts are going to ping off at the appropriate time. But if you do want to have a little bit more creativity with this, you could maybe measure the distance. It says all the take profits here, so you could say, well, once we reach a 3% profit target, we could move the stop loss to break even. So you can just say at 3%, we can do that. Stop loss, you can maybe add in a fail-safe stop loss at 10% just in case we start dumping really quickly and you just want to get out of things just in case there's any problems with the exchange or anything like that. And take profit again. You can get a little bit creative with this and just say a 3% profit will take 10% of the profit of the position, and then you can use all of the take profits. But for now, I'll just leave stop loss and move stop loss to break even. A trailing stop too. Again, these are a little bit more advanced. You don't necessarily have to go crazy with all of these features to begin with. Just get used to it, get the hang of things, play around and see what works for you. But once you've set all of these settings, if you just scroll up here, we can see the trading view alert details. So the webhook URL, what we're going to do is just copy that, and then on trading view here, if we just right click, add alert on, we can see here we can have addition of Trendmaster core trend. So we just want to select that. Oh, I forgot one crucial step actually. So that webhook URL, what you're going to do is just go onto notifications here, click this on if it's not already, and just make sure it's pasted in there. So that's just what I got from the Wonder Trading site here. But one thing we actually need to do quickly before that, which I did forget, you need to go into core trend settings down here, scroll all the way to the bottom, and we can see we have the alert settings for the indicator here. So you're going to want to change the alert mode to manual. So if you just have it set to default, once these trade alerts come through, the long entries, short exits, etc., that's just going to say pre-default information. If you hover over this little eye tooltip here, it'll actually give you a little bit more information. But what we're going to do is replace these alert messages with these that are provided by Wonder Trading. So the enter long here, I'm just going to copy that, take it here, delete all of that, paste it in. Same for the exit long. And if you didn't want to trade short, you only wanted to long, you could just leave these blank. Or, as I said, if you want to get a little bit more advanced with the settings, you could disable quick start mode and have trades just set to long only, or whatever filters you'd like to include. So as I said, for now we're just going to keep things simple. I'm going to add them all in, so just give me 2 seconds. Cool. So once that's done, I did skip a step previously. Now we need to add an alert from the drop down, Trendmaster core trend, any alert function call, and then you can call this whatever you like. We'll just go bit get 4-hour BTC. Make sure the webhook URL is the one provided at Wonder Trading here. I don't think that's the right one, actually. It's not. There we go. Webhook URL is correct. Press create, and you're sorted. You're now automating your trades on BitGet on the Bitcoin 4-hour time frame using core trend. So it's super simple, and this is a great way just to get introduced to things. From there, you could add Ethereum, other altcoins, whatever your preference is. You could disable quick start mode and get a little bit more nuanced with the settings and filters we can add. But one other thing we're going to quickly cover is, of course, core trend was our main application for building and automating your trades, but a lot of our indicators can actually be used for automating. So just Harmony Oscillator, as one example, doesn't necessarily have the same options for alerts that core trend does, because this wasn't initially built specifically for automation. But what you could do here is something very similar. You could set up core trend as your entry signal, so you could go onto this trades, set them to long only, and then down here in the entry alerts and exit alerts for short trades, you could just leave those blank. And then what you could do is actually on Harmony Oscillator, or on a number of our different indicators, if you were to just right click on the indicator, that's not the right one. So Harmony Oscillator, for example, what we do is we have a number of different conditions for your alerts. So for example, a regular bearish divergence might be an exit signal for your long trades that were entered using core trend, or you could just set on a level. So Harmony Oscillator crossing up above a value of 90. So once this harmony line crosses above the 90 level, we just set that to once per bar close. We can go back to Wonder Trading, and that would be our long exit condition. So we just remove all of that, add that alert in, make sure the URL is the same as well, and then we could just call this bitget harmony, oh, spelt that terribly, harmony long exit, and create. And there you go. Now we're combining multiple different indicators for our automation. And as I said, this works for a number of different indicators. Harmony is just one example, but you could load up something like the on-chain metric bundle, which gives you some great on-chain metrics. So if you just load up to begin with, it's going to just give the Trendmaster Trendmaster on-chain rating, but you could go down to something like the retail stablecoin demand, which I know a lot of people like, which is looking at the flow of capital within the crypto space into stablecoins. So we can see this is a great momentum tool to see reversals when a lot of capital within the crypto industry is rushing into stablecoins, which maybe suggests that the market's getting a little bit irrationally fearful, and then we usually see reverse. And same back here, once we see this drop significantly, this usually is a topping point as well. But again, you can go in, change all of these, invert the charts, change the length of signals and such. But if this was going to be our short signal, for example, what we could do, I'm just going to delete that previous alert. What we could do is just add an alert on here on the on-chain metric bundle. And again, we could just say crossing up a value of 90. So similar to Harmony, once per bar close, that could be our short entry signal. Delete all of that, enter that message in, make sure the URL is the same. And then we have retail short signal. So as I said, you can get really creative. You can mix and match multiple different indicators to try and really make it truly unique to fit your personal trading philosophy and style. And as I said, it's just a great way to really get into things, especially with core trend and then expanding one asset at a time, one ticker at a time, one indicator at a time. You can get something that's really original and can perform exceptionally well in a number of different market conditions. Because at the minute, we're seeing pretty stagnant market conditions. I know over the past few days, we've had a little bit of a pull back here, but especially for months, we were just in this really flatline, boring price action where maybe trend following strategies like core trend aren't necessarily going to form as well. So what we could do is just drop to a slightly lower time frame, and at this point maybe rely on something like the funding rates, where we could zoom out and we can see here once we get an excessively low spike, we could maybe long at that point, or once we get a positive spike, we could maybe short at that point. You can get really creative and try and mix and match to try and suit the appropriate market conditions as well, because you have to bear in mind once you're automating, it's not just a click once and forget it forever. Obviously, it'd be great if that always worked, and over the long time frames, of course, core trend is going to be profitable. But if you're trying to really maximize your profits and really improve your efficiency, you'll be able to acknowledge things like this range bound market. You can use some traditional technical analysis, identify that we're probably going to be within this really tight range with a low amount of volatility, and then you can adjust your automation based on this. Maybe you could run a trend trading strategy on a higher time frame, and then on a slightly lower time frame you could turn on automation for a mean reversion to try and catch these little intra-range swings to the upside and downside based on more of a reversal thing like the Harmony oscillator, where it's just going to give you a lot more signals. So I think it's something that you really need to not master your traditional technical analysis. I would say it's definitely going to massively help you, but you don't necessarily have to put all of your time and effort into that. I think it's good to have a little mix and match of both of them so you can kind of wrap your head around identifying things and building up good foundational trading skills, because that will apply really well to your automation. But then if you can also really understand how these are calculating and really use these to kind of combine both your technical analysis skills and your automation skills, that's when you can really start making some profits. So hopefully this was a good overview of how you can maybe begin your trading and automation and really just begin playing around and start testing things out, see what works for you, see what doesn't work. I know there's a lot of people within the Discord that have had a lot of success automating their trades and often share their setups and different signals that they're using. So if there's any questions or anything like that, please don't hesitate to reach out to me or any of the other Trendmaster guys. But I think for now I've pretty much covered everything I was going to cover. So unless anyone has any questions or Chris would like to see anything more or anything else, please just shout at me.
Hey, Bing, thanks for meeting with us today. This is really awesome.
No worries. My pleasure.
I just have a couple quick questions. Totally new to botting. Very interested in it. The first thing you mentioned with Wonder Trading was to do the entire setup using the API and then making sure we had the right webhook and URL, which is something I can go through on my own to figure out. But what I wasn't sure about was you had set an amount of money to be used within Wonder Trading. Is it a transfer of funds from the exchange or from a wallet to Wonder Trading to use, or what is that process?
So it differs slightly depending on the exchange, but usually the way it works is the money you have on your BitGet or Bybit account within that exchange, for example, you may put $100 of that capital into USDT. So that's what we've done on BitGet here. If I just go to the dashboard, where do I see that? Here we go. So this has got $137, but $100 of it exactly is in USDT. So once we go onto the exchange here, it'll say my Wonder Trading account has 100 USD available in it for trading. There we go. Balance in USDT is $100. So you're not actually ever having to transfer anything to Wonder Trading. The API keys you get from any exchange are gonna inform Wonder Trading of the available funds you have to actually put up for automation. So if you have $100 of USD, however much, you would just add your API keys and specify that you want to use the USDT capital for trading. And then Wonder Trade will accept that and it'll present, oh, we have $100 for trading. And then from there, any of the bots will automatically adjust to how much capital you have in your BitGet account. So there's $100 at the minute. If I was to send another $100, Wonder Trading would pick up that my BitGet account now has $200 of USDT, and then it would adjust the trade sizing of the bots to account for that increase in capital.
Just to kind of double tap on that, so essentially think of Wonder Trading as like a layer on top of your exchange. So when you're building the API keys, it's always important that you never click withdrawal as a capability from your API keys. Essentially, what that does is you're allowing, so don't ever tick that box on any API connection because you only want to be able to withdraw and you don't want some kind of thing to happen. But as long as you have, like, as an example, trade ticked, right, or whatever the API requirement is, that will allow you to action orders off of Wonder Trading, but all of your capital, all of your crypto stays on your exchange. It doesn't transfer it to Wonder Trading. If that makes sense.
Great. Yeah, it absolutely makes sense. Thanks for the clarification.
Yeah,
And
no worries.
then-
Yeah, go ahead.
Just one of the other specifics on this was you said that there are the I guess the string of words, the setup that you copy and pasted from WonderGet into or Wonder Trading into I think just somewhere else. And it sounds like you created those, and I just wasn't sure what those were.
Okay, so the only things you will actually have to create are in Bybit. Once you go through and press all of the relevant details, you get the API keys. So then in Wonder Trading, you'll go to My Exchanges, you'll press Add Exchange, select BitGet, and then you'll paste in the API key and a secret as well. So imagine the secret is like your password. Don't ever share that with anyone. Once you trade that into Wonder Trading, those are the only things you actually ever have to create. So the things I pasted, copy and pasted previously, if you just add a new bot in Wonder Trading will automatically create these long strings for you depending on the settings you have. So if you change this to BTC USD like we did previously, you'll see these change a little bit depending on the time frame and ticker. So these are what you just have to copy, but Wonder Trading will create these and adjust them. You won't ever have to do anything once these have been created. You literally just press copy, go to Trading View, and then in Core Trend you just go down and paste them in these alert boxes here, and then Wonder Trading will do the rest. As soon as that alert's created, it'll just manage itself.
And double check always you have alert mode as manual, otherwise it won't be valid either way.
You'll know if you've set the alerts correctly because you'll see in your alert log when it pops up, the alerts will have this very long string of numbers and text. Where if it was set to default, it would just say core trend long entry at $29,000 or something. So it might take a little bit of playing around to really get comfortable with doing things, but once you've done it a couple times, and especially if you rewind this stream, I know I have a tendency to kind of power through things sometime, but once you've done it a couple times, it'll be second nature. It's easy to do.
Fantastic. Thank you. Just the last thing, you all had a setup at one point within Discord where we could talk about different botting setups. I read. Do you still do that?
Yeah, we do. It's
Yes.
if you look at the thread, it's called botting and auto trading. You're welcome to add stuff. It's just we've added so much to it, like a bunch of different setups, and then Bing added a bunch of different back tested setups as well. So it looks like a little brain icon on a forum, and then if you just click that, it should give you access to like the ones that Bing has provided. I know Nasonic and Egil created quite a few. Adrian did quite a few. Smyrn
I've
did
just
some.
pasted a link to it in the chat of this fireside stream. So if you go to the chat on the top right, I've just pasted it. You just click on that, and it'll take you to all of the botting stuff we have.
Oh, wow. Incredible. Well, thank you so much.
No, no problem at all.
Cool. Well, thanks, man. That's a nice. I mean, perfect as far as like time wise too. It's not too crazy or in depth, but that was like the big thing essentially. Was just to kind of double tap the whole wonder trading thing because as the capabilities improve, as the botting improves, everything is going to be kind of like in a sense botting. I think in the future. So
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be. I think a misconception a lot of people have is that you immediately have to go into things and you almost imagine what you see on Wall Street, where there's things just happening every few seconds and it's crazy, fast, and difficult and complex. But it can literally be something as simple as on the weekly time frame, you're looking at the on-chain metric bundle and the Trendmaster on-chain rating to just scale into positions at the correct time. So you could just set up a recurring buys once this dips beneath a value of, say, 2.5, and then this is just going to automatically put 10% of your portfolio in every few months, just a handful of times a year. And then you could do the same for taking profit above a level of, say, 3.5, and then you're going to start scaling out of your positions at the top of the cycle. It can be something really as simple as that, and something as infrequent. And then, of course, it can be as complex as down on the 5-minute time frame, combining signals from 8 different indicators, but that's way more advanced than it really necessarily needs to be, especially for someone just getting into things.
cool. Very cool, sir. Anything else from anyone? Just gonna double check we're all set. Yeah, I'll end it. I'll just end the recording there, just so we have that nice and tight.